The next story is about a fighter not just by profession but also a fighter in life. In one of the most anticipated comebacks in sport, Conor McGregor, the UFC icon, is all set for a dramatic return to the ring. After being away from almost 3 years, McGregor is set to make his foray once more at the IFC 303. The Irishman will go up against Michael Chandler. McGregor's last fight came in July 2021, where he broke his leg, forcing him out of action. Now, after a break, can McGregor be the same threat he once was? And why is this bout a special one?
Conor McGregor, a poster boy for UFC and arguably one of the greats of this generation, was slowly fading away from the circuit. His absence from the sport for almost 3 years got everyone to almost believe that a comeback may not happen. And with the rise of fighters like Alex Pereira, Charles Oliveira and Israel Adesanya, the focus was gradually shifting to other star players, fueling speculations of whether McGregor would eventually just quietly retire from the sport, just simply walk away. But not McGregor. In one of the most awaited comebacks in sport, the Irishman is preparing to return to the UFC ring. McGregor is slated to fight Michael Chandler at the UFC 303 on the 29th of June.
June 29th, Conor versus Chandler. Woo! 5 rounds, 170 pounds. Well, it's not that we've been working on it for ages. Chandler's been ready, but Conor hasn't been ready. Conor, we talked about this at one of the press conferences recently. He had a lot of obligations that he had to deal with.
McGregor last fought in a UFC event back in 2021. His fight came to an abrupt end with McGregor injuring his leg against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. The injury kept him away from the sport for years, making many think that this was the last they saw of the mystic man McGregor. McGregor too didn't give his fans too much hope. Wandering across to Hollywood from doing a role in a movie opposite American actor Jake Gyllenhaal to starring in the MMA-based reality show The Ultimate Fighter last year, McGregor seemed more excited at how things were going with his new acting career. Reasons enough for fans to start believing that he had probably turned his back on a fighting career, until McGregor started dropping a few hints.
You know, not right now. I'm going to regroup after this work and you know, get back to work from my fighting career. Got more in the octagon to do. I'm excited to do it, and that's it. That's where I'm at.
Months went by, and then in December came the bomb, posting a video of his comeback. After that, all hell broke loose. His fight against Chandler has been teased by UFC for many months now. It was in fact during McGregor's acting gig in the MMA-based reality show The Ultimate Fighter that talks of McGregor taking on Chandler at UFC first surfaced. McGregor and Chandler coached opposing teams in the reality show last year. And so this mega fight has been stewing and simmering for a while now. It's no surprise that the bout is going to be a hot boiler. Chandler's last fight in 2022 came at UFC 281, also against Poirier, McGregor's last opponent. In his 5 UFC appearances, Chandler has challenged for the lightweight title once. Despite losing 3 of his 5 fights at UFC, Chandler has been involved in some thrilling bouts since 2021. The McGregor vs. Chandler match is expected to be a 3-fight series instead of the usual 5. A request, they say, was made by McGregor, which is fair given McGregor is coming back after almost a 3-year hiatus. But even without the gap, McGregor, who was once the UFC champion in 2 different divisions at the same time in 2016, the first person to achieve this in the history of the sport. And even though he's only won once after achieving that feat, all eyes will be on him. Can he bring the same intensity he once did in the past? But irrespective of the result, the buzz for this clash is immense. There is a mad dash for tickets and a clamour to see the McGregor-Chandler fight live. An example of it is what happened last weekend when Arman Tsarukyan took on Charles Oliveira. Tsarukyan was involved in an unexpected altercation with a fan before the fight. The fan, though, surprisingly didn't complain despite being hit by the fighter. He instead urged President Dana White to bless him with tickets of McGregor's fight as a compensation. not just fans, but fellow fighters are eager too. Max Holloway has hinted at a possibility of fighting McGregor after his bout against Chandler. McGregor, not one to let any spice fizzle, responded to Holloway's message in a cryptic text saying, "Congrats, Max." Could that be an indication of accepting Holloway's cheeky offer? Either ways, it shows us that McGregor is not done with the UFC just yet, and who knows, if all goes well in his comeback bout, we may see the grand comeback of McGregor at UFC after all.